Hello and welcome to Athavan News. It is 7th February 2016 and this is Devaraja Mayuran with the news highlights of today's English dailies of Sri Lanka. The headline of today's Sunday Times says Geneva issue, government earmarks 11-member task force. An 11-member consultation task force will enforce provisions of the US-backed resolution which was jointly sponsored by Sri Lanka at the Human Rights Council in Geneva last year. Its work will be carried out with the help of a UN expert who will arrive in Colombo next week. Another news says UNHRC chief here for review of progress. The United Nations Human Rights High Commissioner Saeed Raad Al Hussein arrived here yesterday for a 4-day official visit. The main purpose will be to review the implementation of the recommendations made in his report to the United Nations Human Rights Council and the subsequent resolution on promoting reconciliation, accountability and human rights in Sri Lanka. Another news says Zika explosion, BIA on alert, pregnant women advised against travel. With the Zika virus exploding in Latin American countries and the World Health Organization declaring it as an international public health emergency, Sri Lanka also has taken strict precautions, especially at the Bandaranaike International Airport. And the story says poaching crisis, India admits strain on relation with Lanka. India yesterday admitted that the issue of its fishermen poaching in the Park Bay was a strain on Indo-Lanka relations and decided to hold bilateral talks in New Delhi to find a solution before the end of the year, perhaps even within 3 months. With that story, let me move to the news highlights of today's Sunday Observer, whose headline says New CSN scam unveiled. A senior public official in the port sector under the previous government is under investigation for a massive tax fraud involving the Carlton Sports Network channel, police sources told the Sunday Observer. The news below it says TNA leaders promised to work with government to find a political solution acceptable to all communities in Sri Lanka when they met the visiting Indian External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj yesterday. The Indian High Commissioner Y.K. Singha told the media at Hotel Taj Samutra shortly before Swaraj wrapped up her meetings in Colombo that the TNA briefed the Indian minister about the progress made by the government during the past 1 year on the reconciliation front, expressing its readiness to work with the government. Another news says Yoshita's arrest not unfair, says Dominda Desanayaka. SLFP General Secretary and Agriculture Minister Dominda Desanayaka said those who had no idea about the law were saying the arrest of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's second son, Yoshita Rajapaksa, was a gross injustice, but the issue of Carlton Sports Network was discussed since January 8 last year. Another news says Constitutional Reform Committee sittings, where are the youths, asks Lal Vijayanayaka. Over 1,500 proposals have been submitted to the Public Representation Committee on Constitutional Reforms, Chairman Attorney at Law Lal Vijayanayaka said. This was the total number submitted as far as written submissions via mail, email, fax, social media, personally handed over to the Secretariat and at the public sittings in the 4 districts in 12 days. There was a lack of youth representation at all the sittings. The committee would like to see an increased participation of youth, he said, adding that the only significant youth participation was in the Matala, where a group of school children made their submission. And the news says Egnaligoda's disappearance, 4 more arrests imminent. The Criminal Investigation Department investigating journalist Prageet Egnaligoda's disappearance is set to arrest 4 more army intelligence personnel connected to the incident in the coming days, authoritative CID sources told the Sunday Observer. With that story, let me have a quick glance on the news highlights of today's Ceylon Today. The headline of Ceylon Today says India matches Chinese projects in Sri Lanka, Sushma eyeing mega NE deals. The Maitri Ranil government that gave China the thumbs up for the disputed port city project that ran aground under stiff Indian pressure has now appeased India too, with offers of a vast number of mega development projects in the northern and eastern provinces. Another news says joint opposition turns gods against government. 100,000 coconuts dashed at Sinigama Diwali. The joint opposition yesterday dashed 100,000 coconuts on the floor of the historic and sacred Sinigama Diwali in the southern province, claiming that the government has earned the wrath of the gods for the injustice visited upon the country and its people as a whole. Finally, a news at the bottom of the second page of Ceylon Today says NPC government Palihakara quits office, Reginald Kure to succeed him. Northern Provincial Council Governor HMGS Palihakara, a renowned diplomat, has resigned, a Presidential Secretariat spokesman said. Former Western Province Chief Minister Reginald Kure would succeed Palihakara. Answering Ceylon Today, Palihakara said that he had decided to retire since the period he had agreed to with the government to hold the position had expired and hence he would be retiring. With that story, I just wind up the news highlights. Join us tomorrow to have a happy Sunday. Goodbye.